Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and continue the Spider-Man Minecraft pixel art tutorial, and we're going to start off by actually fixing something down here. A little correction on the last part. What I want you to do is quickly switch over to the obsidian block, and with the obsidian block, let's make our way back down here to the bottom left of the pixel art, and I want you to find these obsidian blocks. We're going to move down here to the right, and you should see this one nether brick. We're going to go ahead and get rid of this one nether brick, so go ahead and break that and replace it with an obsidian block, so it should look like this. Okay, so now that we've done that, what we're going to do is put away the obsidian block, because we're not going to be needing it. We're going to fly all the way back up here. Let's fly all the way back up here, and we're going to work on this small area. So to do that, we're going to be needing the nether brick, so let's switch over to the nether brick. And we're going to start off by this one black wool that's on top of the 14, or what used to be 14 black wools that we had going across. So let's go over here. Starting on the left side of it, we're going to be placing one nether brick. That's one. Then we're going to go ahead and skip a space and move on top of this black wool, and we're going to be placing one nether brick there. So that's one. Once you've done that, you're going to be placing another nether brick going up to the left. That's one. And once we've done that, we're just going to go ahead and continue the pattern of the nether brick similar to what we've done down there. So if you don't remember, starting from this one nether brick, going all the way to the left, we're going to be putting one nether brick down, up, down, pretty much the checkboard pattern going all the way to the left. So it should look like this. I'll fly back a bit so you can see that everything should look like this. We didn't do anything over there to the right, just over here to the left. Okay, so now that we've done that, what we're going to be doing next is switching over to the pink stained clay. And still remaining in this somewhat blacked out area here, or black outlined area, we're going to move over here to the right. And starting next to this black wool on the left, we're just going to be placing one pink clay, so that's one. And then we're going to skip a space and place another pink clay, so that's one. So we're going to go ahead and try to do the pattern here. And then from this one pink clay, we're going to be placing one block going down to the left, that's one. Then place one block going up to the left, that's one. Whoops. Okay, that's one. And we're going to be skipping a space here and placing one pink clay there. Once you've done that, skip another space and place one pink clay here. So I'll fly back a bit, and you can see that it should look exactly like this. Don't fill in anything else in because I didn't instruct it yet. And now we're going to switch over to the red wool. Now with the red wool, we're going to be filling in the remaining empty space here with the checkboard pattern. Not filling it in, but with the checkboard pattern we're going to be placing. So in other words, what does that mean? We're going to start from this one pink wool here, and we're going to continue the checkboard pattern going down. In other words, just fill in the entire empty space right here with red checkboard patterns, and they should be connecting to the nether brick and the pink wool. So just fill this in where it needs to go with the checkboard pattern. There we go. I'll fly back a bit now. And you should see it should look exactly like this. Very simple and easy. You just filled in the remaining empty space with the red wool, continuing the checkboard pattern. And of course, once you've done that, switch over to the nether rack, and we're going to be filling in those small empty spaces that we left behind. Fill those in with the nether rack now. Super, super easy. Okay, there we go. And now that we've done that, we're going to be doing something similar to this empty space here. So we're going to start off with the pink clay this time. And we're going to move over here to these three black wools that we have here going across. We're going to start, let's say, underneath the right block of the three. So starting from there, we're going to be adding one pink clay. That's one. Move over here underneath the left block of the three. So right there, we're going to be putting one pink clay. That's one. Once you've done that, we're going to go to the right side. So going to these three black wools on the right. So starting from there, we're going to be placing three blocks going diagonal down to the, down to the right. Starting on the right side of it. So that's going to be 1, 2, and 3. And yeah, I know I'm not using a placement block now, but this is just pretty simple and easy to follow, essentially. Just no need to put outlines here. It's just going patterns, checkboard patterns. Alright, so once we've done that, we're going to get, let's see, yeah, we're going to go back up here, and we're going to do the same thing we did there, just skipping a space from where we started. So we're going to start from here now, And this time we're going to be placing another 3 going down to the right. That's 1, 2, 3. Head back up here. Again, skip a space. This time we're going to be placing 4 blocks. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Apparently I forgot to turn off my notifications, so I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Okay, I turned off my notifications. It's not that I don't like getting messages, it's just that I don't like getting messages during recordings. So, there you go. No more messages are going to pop up. So let's go back up here. This time, since there's empty space here, we can't place anything there, so we're going to have to move down here. But we're not going to start from there because it's making contact with the pink. Obviously, we're going to move over here to the right. So that's going to be our new starting position, and we're going to be adding 3 blocks. So that's 1, 2, 3. Once again, let's head back up here. This time we're going to start from there, and we're going to be placing 3 blocks again. That's 1, 2, 3. And now we're going to move to the next position, and this time we're only going to be placing 1 pink clay here. So that's 1. Now, once you've done that, you're going to be switching over to the nether brick, and with the nether brick, we're going to move over here, staying within the large empty space here. We're going to move down here to the right, to this, let's say, this 1 black wool. See this 1 black wool? It's making contact with these 3 black wools here. We're going to start on top of the middle block of these 3 black wools. So from there, we're going to be placing 3 blocks going diagonal up to the right. That's 1, whoops, 2, and 3. Again, I'm not using the placement block because it's just checkboard patterns. We're not going to be doing any outlines like we did here for the Spider-Man. Alright, so there we go. We've got the 3. And from this another brick here, we're going to be placing 1 block going up to the left. That's 1. Now, once we've done that, let's head back down here to the 3 black wools. We're going to skip a space from it to the left, and we're going to be placing 1 nether brick there. So it should look like this. Now we're going to go ahead and continue this going to the left, so skip a space, and put another brick there. Skip another space, put another brick there. Now for this next part, we're going to skip a space here. I'm going to be putting another brick here in the air, so we're going to have to do a little of this. So the nether brick should look like that. Now we're going to be placing 1 nether brick going down to the left from it. So that's 1. And then place another nether brick from this one going up to the left. That's 1. And it should look exactly like this. Now, once we've done that, we're going to be switching over to the red wool. Now, with the red wool, similar to what we did over there to the left, we're going to be filling in the entire remaining empty space that's here with the checkboard pattern of the red wool. So just don't fill it in, but fill it in with the checkboard pattern like this. Wherever the red wool needs to go, it should go. And just to give you a sense, we'll do this in real time. Next larger parts, I'll just go ahead and time-lapse it because I'm pretty sure you guys are well aware of how we're going to be filling all this in. It's very simple and easy. Let's go ahead and just do that. And let's see how much we have. We actually have a lot to go. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and time-lapse this. You guys, I'm pretty confident that you guys know what you're doing. So let's go ahead and time-lapse this, and I'll see you right after that. And there you go. Once you filled it in with the checkboard pattern, it should look like this. So go ahead and pause the video now if you're still doing it, which I would assume that you probably still are. So once we're done filling it in with the checkboard pattern, we're going to be switching over to the netherrack. And before we start filling in anything, I want you to go over here to the right. And you can see that we have these 3 empty spaces here to the right side of the checkboard patterns. And we're only going to be filling in these 2 empty spaces right here for now. This space down here and this space to the left with the nether brick, or nether rack, not nether brick. So we'll listen with nether rack. There we go. Now, I want to make it very clear that we're never going to be filling in this empty space here. Just make a mental note of that. Never fill this empty space. Okay, similar to other empty spaces, I would assume. Like down there, that large empty space, we're not going to be filling that in. And whatnot. Okay, so all of these empty spaces now here get filled in, except that one there. All these empty spaces get filled in with the netherrack, so go ahead and do that now. I'm going to go ahead and time-lapse this part as well. And when you're done filling it in, it should look like that. So now what we're going to be doing next is we're going to be working on the face, but you know what? We're going to go ahead and start working on the eyes now. Let's do that. That's going to be a little easier than what we're going to be doing next. So let's just put these reds aside. And what I want you to do next is switch over to the cyan clay, stone block, the light gray wool, the white wool, and I believe we're going to be needing the snow block. Do we not have the snow block? Did I not put it into the beginning, or do I just not have it in my inbox? Let's see. Wow, I really didn't put the snow block in my lineup, I should say. Okay, well, we're gonna go ahead and revise that. There we go, snow block. I think that's the second or third time ever that I left out a block. Second to be for sure, third possibly. Okay, we're gonna start over here to the left of the eye, right here, this little kind of slanted thing. We're going to start off with the cyan clay. Start at the very top left corner, staying within the block of coal. And up here, we're just going to be placing 2 cyans going to the right, so that's 1, 2, top left. And underneath the left block of these 2, we're just going to be placing 1 cyan clay. That's 1. Now, once you've done that, we're going to be switching over to the stone block. Now, with the stone block, we're going to head down here to the bottom part of this eye again, starting on top of the left block of these 6 block of coal. So starting from there with the stone, we're going to be adding 3 blocks to the right. That's 1, 2, 3. Once you've done that, we're going to start on top of the left block of these 3. So starting from there, it's going to be a linked. We're going to be placing 2 blocks going to the left. So that's, that's 1, 2. So it should look like this. Next, place 1 block going up to the left. That's 1. And now we're going to be placing 2 sets of 2s going up on the left. That's 1, 2, 1, and 1, 2, 2. Once you've done that, place 2 blocks going across on the upper level to the right. That's 1, 2. And now we're going to be placing 2 sets of 2s going across on the lower level to the right. That's 1, 2, 1, and 1, 2, 2. Now, once we've done that, we're going to be filling in those small empty spaces that we left behind in between the block of coal and the stone block. So let's go ahead and do that now. There we go. Very simple. Once you've done that, you're going to be switching over to the light gray wool, and we're going to be filling in the remaining empty space that's here with the light gray wool. Now, both eyes aren't going to be the same. We're not going to be using the exact same block colors, because one is in the shadow, so one of it's going to be slightly darker, and this is going to be the one that's slightly darker. And the one we do over there next is going to be slightly lighter, because it is, pretty much. We've done the lighter parts of his costume. That's why that's red over there, and that's why that's red over there, and that's why we got a little red over there on the side, because of the sunlight. Okay, so now what we're going to do next is we're going to move over here to the right. We're going to do the right eye, and we're going to start off by using the light gray wool, the last block that we used over there. So, again, finding the eye right here. We're going to start down here at the very bottom. 4 block of coals on top of the right block, so starting from there, we're going to be placing 2 blocks going to the left. That's 1, 2. Place 1 block going up to the left. That's 1. Now place 2 blocks going up on the left. That's 1, 2. Keep up. And now we're going to be placing 3 blocks going diagonal up to the right. So 3 diagonal. That's 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to head back down here, going back to where we started with the 2 light grays. So starting from the right block, we're going to be placing 2 blocks going across on the upper level to the right. That's 1, 2. Next, place 1 block going up to the right. That's 1. Now we're going to switch it up to the white wool. Starting on top of this 1 light gray, we're going to be adding 4 white wools going up. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And now starting from the top block on the left side of the white, so starting from there, we're going to be adding 2 whites going to the left. That's 1 and 2. Once you've done that, switch over to the snow block, and we're going to be filling in this top right area here with the snow block. So go ahead and fill this in with snow. And it should look like this. Once you've done that, switch over to the white wool, and we're going to be filling in this empty space here, staying within the outline. Fill this in with white. Just fill only this spot in here with white. And then once we've done that, we're going to be switching over to the light gray wall, and we're going to be filling in the remaining empty space here, and that small space that's right there, with the light gray wall. So let's fill this in. I'll fly back a bit so you can see that everything should look exactly like this, and there we go. The costume lighting is a lot brighter over here on the right side of it than it is on the left side of it. That's why you see the colors slightly different. Don't worry about it. It's going to look good when we're done. Alright, so what we're going to be doing next is I want to head to a specific large area. It's right here to the kind of bottom left part of his mask. So we're going to find this area here. We can go ahead and put away these blocks. We're not going to be using it anymore. We can go ahead and put away the gray type of blocks, including the snow block and the white one. So just go ahead and put that away. Let's switch back to our main roster of blocks, which is all the reds. So let's switch back to the 4 main reds. I know this is pink, but we're going to go ahead and call it red. Make it part of the red family. Alright, going back. We want to find this empty space here. So I'll fly back a bit. You can see where I'm looking at. Okay, we're going to go to the very bottom of this empty space, which is next to these 7 black walls, and they're connected to these 3 black walls here by that 1 black wall in between them. So this is exactly where I want you to be. So this exact area. We're going to start a different pattern, and it's going to involve with the nether brick and nether rack, except this time it's only going to involve stacking them upwards, not checkboard patterns. Not right now, at least. So we're going to start off with the nether brick, and we're going to go to these 3 black walls on top of it. So from there, we're going to be putting 1 nether brick. So that's 1. Switch over to the nether rack, place 1 nether rack. And I need you to keep up. If you feel like it's going a little too fast, just pause the video. Alright, now we're going to be placing 1 nether brick. That's 1. And we're going to be placing 1 nether rack. That's 1. So it should look like this. Now, what we're going to be doing is an outline of this same exact pattern, but we're going to be going up to the left. In other words, similar to what we were doing with the black outline. See right here, I had you place 1, then 2 sets of 2s, and I had you place another set of blocks going up. That's exactly what we're going to be doing, except it's going to be a pattern of nether brick and nether rack. So, actually, I don't feel like I should really go fast, but I'm sure you'll be able to keep up. Okay, so now start switching over to the, no, we're going to keep it up to the nether rack. So now, starting from this nether rack, we're going to be placing 1 block going up to the left. So that's 1. Again, I'm not using the placement blocks for this because it's a checkerboard pattern. It's going to actually waste some time. Alright, now place 1 nether rack. That's 1. And now we're going to be placing 1 nether, or I should say that's nether brick. Now we're going to be placing 1 nether rack. That's 1. So it should look like this so far. Once you've done that, place 1 nether rack going up to the left. That's 1. And now 1 nether brick. That's 1. And now 1 nether rack. That's 1. Now we're going to be placing 1 nether rack going up to the left. That's 1. Switch over to the nether brick. 1 nether brick. That's 1. And now 1 nether rack. That's 1. Now we're going to be placing 1 block going up to the left with nether rack. That's 1. And now switch over to the nether brick. That's 1. Now nether rack. Now nether brick. And now nether rack. Next, place 1 nether rack going up to the left. That's 1. Now switch over to the nether brick. That's 1. Now the nether rack. That's 1. And you can see that the nether rack should be the one that's making contact in between these 2 black walls. So that's 1 black wall, another black wall. It should be right there. I'll fly back a bit real quick so you can see what we've got so far. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and continue the pattern. Going back up here, starting from the nether rack, we're going to be placing 1 block going up to the left. That's 1. Now nether brick. Now nether rack. Now, what we're going to do from here is we're going to be placing 1 nether rack going up to the left. That's 1. Now 1 nether brick. That's 1. Now 1 nether rack. Now from this 1 block, place 1 nether rack going up to the left. That's 1. Now for this next part, to save us a lot of time, we're going to be continuing the pattern nether brick, nether rack, nether brick, nether rack. And I want you to do that all the way up until you hit this 1 black wall up here. So just go ahead and do that. Nether brick, nether rack, nether brick, nether rack, nether brick, nether rack. brick, rack, brick, rack, brick, rack, and brick. And you can see that the nether brick should be the one making contact with the black wool there. Alright, so we're going to start on top of this very same black wool that we made contact with. So starting from there with the nether brick, because it continues with the pattern, you can see that this one would have been nether rack, but the black wool's here. So we're going to go ahead and continue with another brick. So from there, we're going to be placing one nether brick, one nether rack. Okay, keep up, because this doesn't go all the way now. We're going to actually place it in real time. Another brick, another rack, another brick, another rack, another brick, another rack, another brick, and another rack. I should stop right there. This nether rack should be on the same level as this one black wool over here to the right, just as a reference. Okay, so now starting from this one nether rack, we're going to be placing one block going up to the right. That's one. Now another brick, another rack, another brick, and another rack. And then we're going to close it off by placing one block going up to the right. That's one. And it should look exactly like this. Now, once you've done that, what we're going to be doing next is switching over to the nether brick. And with the nether brick, from the 3 black wools here, the very same 3 black wools that we just made contact with that one nether rack that we just placed, we're going to move up here. Starting from there, we're going to be placing 2 nether bricks going diagonal up to the right. So that's 1 and 2. So it should look like this. Now switch over to the nether rack and place one nether rack on top of this nether brick. So that's 1. Next, we're going to be placing one nether rack going up to the right. That's 1. And now let's go ahead and continue the pattern, going all the way up to the black wall. So another brick, another rack, and another brick. Fly back a bit so you can see that it should look exactly like this. So once we've done that, we're going to go ahead and fill in this small empty space that's right here to the left. Fill this in with the nether brick. Let's go ahead and just fill this in with another brick. There we go. Very simple and easy. Now once you've done that, we're going to be filling in 2-ish, 3-ish technically, large areas here. And they're only going to be in between the black wool and the nether brick, nether rack outline that we had here. So if you remember, obviously, we started down here with the pattern of nether brick, nether rack. So everything to the left side, staying within the black wool outline, so this here, the outline, everything to the left side of it, between the black wool and the checkerboard pattern to the left, gets filled in with the nether brick. So let's go ahead and do that now. So let's just fill all over here. All this stuff, all these empty spaces, which is a total of 3 empty spaces. I took a quick glance at it. For a second I thought it was 2, but the black wool does cut it off. There we go. So I'm gonna fly back a bit so you can see that, oops, that everything should almost look like this. There we go, we forgot to fill this up here. There we go, just filling all of this here to the left, and now we've got it filled in. So I'll fly back a bit, and now you can see that everything should look exactly like this. We're going to go ahead and try to get rid of the annoying parts first before we do the easy parts. The easy parts are going to be going very smoothly. Okay, so now what we're going to be doing next... Let's see. You know what we're going to be doing next? Just to fill it in, just to put some color on the pixel art. Let's just switch over to the black wool. Now with the black wool, you can see that we did the eyes, right? We filled in the eyes, the white part of the eyes, but you can see that we have this larger empty space surrounding the eyes. We're going to be filling in these 2 large empty spaces here, right here. See this? This is where the lens effect comes in, if you saw the movie. We're going to be filling in this single large area right here, staying within the outline. And we're also going to be filling in this single large area here, staying within the outline, with black wool, not block of coal. Fill this in with, or not, what am I saying? Whoops. Fill this in with block of coal, not the black wool. Excuse me. Okay. Block of coal. You're going to be filling this in with here. Same thing goes over here. Block of coal. So go ahead and fill those 2 in. I'm going to go ahead and time-lapse this. And when we're done filling it in, it should look like this. We've got some black color finally into the mask. Seeing those spidey eyes. So now what we're going to do is put away the block of coal. We're not going to be needing it anymore for the tutorial. This is going to be, from here on in, strictly the 4 families. Well, I should say not the 4 families. The family of 4 when it comes to the red, including the little pink one. I was probably adopted, but that's fine. I still love it. We're going to fly all the way up here, and what I want you to do is we're going to start, not all the way over here, but close to it. We're going to start off with the red wool. To the very, very top line of the entire pixel art, so up here, of the 17 black wools, starting underneath the left block, we're going to skip this space here. Not going to put anything there. We're going to move 1 block over to the right and place 1 red wool. So we're going to put the red wool there. Now, once you've done that, you're going to be switching over to the nether brick. And with the nether brick starting from this 1 red wool, we're going to be placing 5 nether bricks going diagonal down to the right. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 5 blocks. Somebody's ringing the doorbell. And now what we're going to be doing next is switching over to the red wool. And we're going to be continuing by placing 2 red wools going diagonal down to the right. Man, that's annoying. That's 1 and 2. Now place 1 block going down to the left. That's 1. Alright, now that we've got that done, we're going to be switching over to the nether rack. And with the nether rack starting on top of this 1 red wool here, starting from there, we're going to be tracing the outline with the nether rack going all the way up to the left until we make contact with that red wool there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 7 blocks. Once you've done that, you're going to be switching over to the, let's see, the nether rack, actually. We're not going to be switching over to anything. We're going to move down here, back to where we started with the nether rack. We're just going to be placing a placement block on it, just to separate it. Switch over to the nether rack now. Starting on top of the placement block, we're going to be placing 4 blocks going diagonal up to the left. So 4 diagonal. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's get rid of the placement blocks now. And similar to what we just did, let's go back down here to where we started with the 4. Switch over to the placement block, put a placement block on top of the nether rack. Let's put 1 placement block there. Switch back over to the nether rack starting on top of the placement. We're going to be placing this time only 2 blocks going diagonal to the left. So 2 diagonal, that's 1 and 2. Let's get rid of those placements. Once we've done that, we're going to switch over to the red wool, and what you're going to be doing, starting from this empty space right here, in between the nether racks and black wool, not down there, we're not going to be filling this in, starting from this empty space, and going all the way up here, all of this here, gets filled in with the red wool. So let's fill this in with red. There you go. I'll fly back a bit, so you can see that it should look exactly like this, making sure you didn't fill in that 1 small space there. Okay, so what we're going to be doing next is we're going to, let's see, we're going to go ahead and do a little placement pattern with the red wool. So let's go ahead and switch over to the placement block. And what I want you to do is find this 1 black wool here that's making contact with that red wool there. Okay, we're going to start underneath this black wool by putting a placement block. So that's 1. Now switch over to the red wool. We're going to go ahead and handle this in a different way. We're going to be placing a total of 4 red wools, but we're going to be doing it with the placement block here, and we're going to go ahead and create a pattern with it. So 4 red wools. So that's 1 red wool, then placement, 2, placement, 3, placement, 4. That's a total of 4 red wools. Very simple and easy. Let's go ahead and get rid of the placement blocks. So it should look like that. We have 4 dots right there of red. Now let's head over here to the right, and this time we're going to be starting underneath these 9 black wools, and we're going to do the exact same thing we just did there, except we're not going to be counting. We're just going to go ahead and place red wools with a placement block pattern going all the way down, and we should end up by putting 1 placement block there on top of this black wool. So let's head all the way back up here. Do the exact same thing until we hit the bottom. So that's red, placement red, placement, red, placement, red, placement, red, placement. Yeah. Going all the way down, and you can see that we have one placement making contact with that one black one, and it should end up exactly like that. So now let's go ahead and get rid of the placement blocks. There we go. We're setting all of this up for the larger time lapse that we're going to be doing. Okay, now that we've got that area done, let's head down here. We're going to go ahead and continue. From the exact same black wall that we made contact with that placement block, we're going to be putting a placement block there, and we're going to be adding 3 red walls with the placement pattern. So that's 1 red wall, 2, and 3. Again, that's with the placement block pattern. So let's go ahead and get rid of the placements. And once you've done that, let's see, we're going to go ahead and go all the way down here. Why not? This empty space, it's not really a circle, but it's the empty space in between his eyes. So find this empty space here, and what I want you to do is find these 3 black holes that we have going across. You see that's 1, 2, 3. Top left corner of this empty space. And we're going to start from the right block of these 3. So starting from that block there, we're going to be placing, let's see, take a good look. Yeah, we're going to be placing 2 blocks going diagonal down to the right from it. So that's 1 and 2. And then from this 1 red wall, we're going to be placing 1 block going up to the right. That's 1. Now, once you've done that, starting from this very same black wall that just made contact with this red, so starting underneath it, from there, we're going to be placing 4 blocks going at diagonal down to the left. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Next, we're going to move down here, directly underneath this 1 black wall, or not 1 black wall, this 1 red wall that we just placed, looking straight down. We're going to start on top of the left block of these 2 black walls. So from there, we're going to be placing 4 blocks going diagonal up to the right. So 4 diagonal. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now we're going to head down here, and we're just going to fill in the remaining empty space here with the checkboard pattern of red. So obviously the red is going to go there and there. All we had to do is just place 2 red walls, continuing the checkboard pattern. So again, I'll fly back a bit, and you can see that it should look exactly like this. Make sure to pause the video now if you need to, just to compare. Okay, now that we've done that, what we're going to be doing next is let's start working on the upper part of this mask when it comes to the patterns. And to do that, let's see, we're actually going to have to move all the way up here. Let's move up here, and we're going to start off with the nether rack. Let's switch over to the nether rack. And what I want you to do is, these are the 30, I believe it was 33 black holes that we placed here. We're going to start on top of the 33 black holes. So starting from there, we're going to be placing one netherrack. So that's 1. Then place 1 netherrack going down to the right. That's 1. Once you've done that, switch over to the placement block. Put a placement block on top of this first netherrack. So put 1 placement block there. Switch over to the netherrack starting on top of the placement block. So starting from there, we're going to be placing 6 blocks going diagonal down to the right. So 6 diagonal down to the right. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's go ahead and get rid of the placement blocks. And similar to what we just did there, heading back up here to the top, starting on top of this netherrack. So from there, just put 1 placement block. Switch back over to the netherrack, starting on top of the placement. We're going to be placing 9 netherracks going diagonal down to the right. So 9 diagonal down to the right. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Let's get rid of the placements now. And once again, we're going to do something similar, not exactly the same, but we're going to head back up here. Put a placement block on top of this netherrack here. Let's put 1 block there. And this time, instead of starting on top of it, we're going to start on the right side of it. So on the right side of the placement, so from there, we're going to be placing 8 blocks this time. 8. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. That's 8. Let's go ahead and get rid of the placements. And once we've done that, what we're going to be doing next is switching over to the pink stained clay. So let's switch over to the pink stained clay. We're going to head back up here. Starting underneath, at the very top left corner of what remains of this space, so starting from there, we're going to be placing 7 pink clays going to the right. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Next, we're going to be placing 3 blocks going across on the lower level to the right. That's 1, 2, 3. And now place 1 block going down to the right. That's 1. Next, we're going to be placing 3 blocks going across on the lower level to the right. So 3 blocks across. That's 1, 2, 3. Once you've done that, you're going to be placing 4 blocks going diagonal down to the right. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's get rid of the placement blocks, fly back a bit. And you can see that everything should look exactly like this so far. So once it does, we're going to be filling in those small empty spaces that we left in between the black wool and the pink clay. Fill those in with the pink clay. Let's fill this in here. And it should look like that. Now, once we've done that, what we're going to do next is we're going to head over here to the right. We're going to go ahead and continue the pattern over here. We're going to start from this empty space here. So starting from this empty space, we're going to count this as 1. We're going to be placing 4 blocks going diagonal down to the right. So 4 diagonal. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Once you've done that, you're going to be placing 3 blocks going down the right. That's 1, 2, 3. And now 1 block going down to the right. That's 1. Next, we're going to be placing 2 sets of 3s going down on the right. That's 1, 2, 3, 1, and 1, 2, 3, 2. And once we've done that, what we're going to be doing next, let's take a good look-see, is we're going to be filling a total of 6 empty spaces. Make sure you're counting correctly. 6 empty spaces. I'll point them out. Oops, actually, never mind. Let's get back up here. Before we actually do that, let's fill in that small empty space that we left behind in between the black wool and the pink clay. Fill that in. Okay, so it should look like that now that we fill that in. Now, let's head back up here, or down here. These are the 6 empty spaces that we're going to be filling in with the pink clay. Make sure to count it. That's 1. It's all the way to the right. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that small one, 6. It's very slim areas. Not making contact with the eye, obviously. But over here to the right, just fill in those 6 small empty spaces. Or skinny, really. Not really small, but skinny. With the pink clay. Similar to what we did over there on the other side of the mask, which we used darker colors, because it's on the shadowy side. Over here we're using light colors because this is where the sun is actually making more contact with his costume. That's why it's going to be lighter over here. Hence, the lighter eyes on the right and the darker eyes on the left. Alright, so again, I'll fly back a bit so you can see that should look exactly like this. Very simple and easy. Now let's head back down here where we filled in that small space there with the pink clay. And we're actually going to go ahead and put 1 pink clay on top of this black wool here. That's right across from it, so put 1 pink clay there. Once you've done that, from the very same black wool here, this time underneath it, so from there, we're going to be placing 2 sets of 2s going down on the left with pink clay. Oops, still only got rid of the black wool. There we go. Okay, so 2 sets of 2s, or 2 sets of 4s. Sorry, 2 sets of 4s. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 2. Now fly back a bit so you can see that it should look exactly like this. And now that we've done that, what we're going to be doing next is we're going to be switching over to the netherrack. And with the netherrack, we're going to move over here to the left. And what I want you to do is find this empty space here. It's somewhat right next to and underneath this checkboard pattern that we did with the red wool in between the Spider-Man's eyes, I guess. So from this empty space here, this is where I want you to be. I want you to find this 1 black wool here at the very top left corner of this empty space. So starting from this black wool, we're just going to be adding 5 netherracks going down. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very simple. Okay, now that we've done that, what we're going to be doing next is we're going to be heading up here to, let's say, this large empty space here that's above his eye. Not that one there, don't get it confused. We're going to start from this area, and we're going to start at the very bottom part of this area, of this large space. So that includes this space here, between the black wool and the block of coal. So starting from there, what we're going to be doing is placing 10 nether racks going diagonal up to the right. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let's go ahead and get rid of the placement blocks. And you can see that we have a small space that's right here. We're going to start on top of the right block of these 2 blocks of coals. So from there, just place 3 nether racks going up to the right. That's 1, 2, and 3. To fill in that small space with a pattern. Now let's head back down here. Back to where we started with the 10. Starting from this 1 block, we're going to be placing 1 block going up to the left. That's 1. And now from this 1 block, we're going to be placing 1 block going up to the right. So that's 1. And it should look like this. Next, we're going to head back up here. Back to where we left off with the 10 blocks of nether rack. Starting on top of the nether rack, we're going to be putting 1 placement block. That's 1. Switch back over to the nether rack, starting on top of the placement. So from there, we're going to be placing 4 blocks going diagonal down to the left. So 4 diagonal. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's get rid of the placements. Head back up here. Same thing again. Put a placement block on top of the nether rack. And now switch back over to the nether rack. And we're going to be placing 4 nether racks going diagonal down to the left. So 4 diagonal. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's get rid of the placements. And this time, we're going to start from the bottom block of these 2 black wools here that make contact with the nether racks that we just placed here. So from the bottom block on the left, so from there, we're going to be placing 3 nether racks going diagonal down to the left. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Let's get rid of the placements. Head back up here, switch back over to the placement block, put a placement block on top of this nether rack. So that's 1. Switch back over to the nether rack, starting on the left side. This time we're going to be placing 2 nether racks down to the left. That's 1 and 2. Let's get rid of the placements, fly back a bit, and you can see that it should look exactly like this so far. Very simple and easy. Okay, so now what we're going to be doing next is going to involve some pink clay. So let's go ahead and switch over to the pink clay. Let's put away the black wool. We didn't need the black wool. I just accidentally broke that 1 block. That's why I put it in the inventory. Alright, so let's switch over to the pink clay. And what we're going to be doing is moving to this large empty space that we don't have anything in yet. This space right here. And I want you to fly up here. And I want you to find the 4 black wools that are making contact with the 3 black wools. In other words, let's head back up here. You can see that these 3 black wools are making contact with that 1 nether rack. So these are the 3 black wools I want you to find. And you see that we have these 4 black wools here. So the exact same one. We're going to start underneath the right block of these 3 black wools. So starting from there, we're going to be placing 7 pink clays going diagonal down to the right. So 7 diagonal down to the right. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Let's get rid of the placements. And it should look like this. Now you can see that we have a small empty space here that we just created. We're going to go ahead and fill this in with the checkerboard pattern of the pink clay. So with the pink clay, fill this in with the checkerboard pattern. It's very simple and easy at this point. We're pretty much masters at it. We've done it so much. Okay, there we go. Filled in that space with the checkerboard pattern of the pink clay. And once we've done that, what we're going to be doing next is switching over to the placement block. And what we're going to be doing is pretty much almost the exact same thing we did here with the netherrack. We're just going to be doing that. Let's head back up here, starting from where we placed the 7 blocks, the first block of the 7. So put a placement block right there underneath it, and switch over to the pink clay. And all of this is going to be going diagonal down to the right. So it's going to go diagonal down to the right. And this time we're going to be placing 6. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's get rid of the placements. Let's head back to the bottom of the first 6 that we just placed. So this time, I'll put a placement block there. And now we're going to be placing 5 blocks. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's get rid of the placement blocks. And this time, we're going to start down here. I said it was going to go all down to the right, but this time it's going to go up to the left. We're going to move down here to these 3 black wolves that are making contact with the 5 pink clays that we just placed. Starting from the middle block on the left side of it, so starting from there, we're going to be placing 5 pink clays going diagonal up to the left. So 5 diagonal up to the left, that's 1. Or no, not 5, 4, that's fine. 4, that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's 4 blocks that go diagonal up to the left. So that's 4 diagonal, and we're going to fly back a bit so we can see that it should look like this. And now we're going to head back down here, starting from the top block of these 2 black wolves. So from there, we're going to be placing 3 blocks going diagonal up to the left. That's 1, 2, and 3. Get rid of the placements. And what we're going to be doing next is we're going to move down here, starting from the bottom block this time of the very same 2 black wolves, from the bottom block on the left. So from there, we're going to be placing another 3 blocks. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to head back down here, this time starting from the top block of these 2 black wolves on the left. So from there, we're going to be placing 2 pink clays. That's 1, 2. And now we're going to start from the very bottom block of these 2 pink clays. So from here, we're going to be adding 1 pink clay going down to the left. That's 1. Placement block, and I'm going to fly back a bit. So you can see that it should look exactly like this so far. We're going to go ahead and check down here real quick, just to make sure that... Yeah, okay, we do have a little bit of mask to work down here. So let's go ahead and... We're just finishing these small little details to make the next part, which I believe might actually be the last part. Might. Who knows? I'll try my best to make it the last part. We're going to go ahead and switch over to the... What is it? The red wall. There we go. Okay, I was kind of confused. We're going to switch over to the red wall. And what I want you to do... Actually, this is going to be a lot easier if we start up here, isn't it? Yeah, let's move over here to the empty space that's underneath the space that we put the check for pattern of red walls between the eyes. So move to this empty space that's right here. And to make this easier, we're going to find this 1 black wool at the very top of this empty space. So from this 1 black wool, we're going to be placing 1 red wool going down to the left. So that's 1. And now from this 1 red wool, we're going to be placing 1 black going down to the right. That's 1. Next, switch over to the placement block and put a placement block underneath this red wall up here. So that's 1 placement. Switch over to the red wall starting on the left side of the placement. So from there, we're going to be placing 4 blocks going diagonal down to the right. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's get rid of the placements. Once you've done that, switch over to the placement starting from the bottom block of the 4. So from this block on the left side, let's put a placement block, so it should look like that. Switch over to the red wall, starting underneath the placement block. So from there, we're going to be placing 3 blocks going diagonal down to the right. That's 1, 2, and 3. Get rid of the placement. Head back down here. Switch over to the placement block, put a placement block underneath the red wall down here, so put 1 placement. Switch over to the red wall, add 1 red wall on the left side of it, and add 1 red wall underneath it. So 1 on the left and 1 underneath. Get rid of the placements. Switch over to the placement block. Put a placement block underneath the red wall. Now switch back over to the red wall. Place 1 red wall underneath the placement. That's 1. And now from this 1 red wall, you're going to be placing 1 red going down to the right. That's 1. And once you've done that, you're going to look directly underneath it. And you can see that we have this 1 black wall here. You're going to be placing 1 red wall on top of it. So 1 red there. Alright, so fly back a bit so you can see that it should look exactly like this. We're almost done with this part. It's a part that's honestly a lot longer than I thought it would be. But to be fair, I'm getting a lot more done than I thought I would. Okay, so now we're moving to this next area here. If the dog would shut up. We're going to move to this area. We're going to start, let's say, underneath the very same black wall here that we placed a red wall on top. We're going to be placing 1 red wall underneath it. That's 1. And next, in fact, to make this a lot easier, we're going to be doing the exact same thing we did up there. If you remember the checkboard pattern, I guess, with the placement of red and placement. We're going to do that until we hit the very bottom of the black wool outline, which those 3 black wools down there. So put a placement, red wool, placement, red wool, placement, red wool, placement, red wool, placement. So it should look like that. Very simple and easy. And what you're going to be doing next is filling in this empty space over here to the right with the remainder of the checkboard pattern. So fill what's missing here with the checkboard pattern of red. So obviously it's going to look like this. It's a lot easier. Just go ahead and put that placement, or leave, I should say, for now. So it should look exactly like this. All we did was just fill in the remaining empty space with the checkboard pattern of red. And we can go ahead and get rid of that. That was a lot easier, I thought. Now we're going to move down here to the last part of the mask. And this mask, we're going to start off, let's say, from this one black wool. From this one black wool here. On the left side, you're going to be placing 1 red wool. That's 1. And underneath it, you're going to be placing 1 red wool. That's 1. Next, switch over to the placement block. Put a placement block underneath the red wool. That's 1. Switch back over to the red wool. Starting underneath the placement block, we're going to be placing 2 of these red wools going diagonal down to the right. That's 1 and 2. Let's get rid of the placement. Head back down here. Switch over to the placement. Add 1 placement. And then add 1 red wool. And then add 1 placement. And starting underneath this placement block, so from there, we're going to be adding 3 blocks going diagonal down to the left. Down to the left diagonal. That's 1, 2, and 3. I'll go ahead and get rid of the placement blocks. I'll fly back a bit. So you can see that everything should look exactly like this so far. I've pretty much set up the mask for an easy time lapse, but it's not going to be a single block. It's going to be requiring about 3 different type of blocks, and 2 of them are going to be required to be filling in blocks. So let's see what we have left for the next part. We're almost done. We're practically almost there. The only thing we have left is his right shoulder, which, I'm not going to lie to you, it does have some outlines that we have to kind of get through, but it's not going to be too hard. So the next part, for sure, I can tell just by looking at what we have left over here, is most likely going to be the last part of the Spider-Man Minecraft Pixel tutorial, so make sure to stay tuned in for that. So I'm going to go ahead and pause here and continue it in the next part. So with all that being said, make sure to stay tuned in for more Minecraft videos.